Hi, bitch besties. It's your main bitch, Melly. Thank you so much for tuning in and welcome to another episode of the Judgy Bitch Pod.
Hello, bitch besties. Welcome to a new episode. Today I have Lynn on, and Lynn wrote a book about what she's been through in her life. It's a memoir, and she's going to share a little bit about this with us, and I can't wait to hear it. Welcome, Lynn.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for coming on and for reaching out and suggesting to come on. I love that.
Thank you very much. I'm trying to get my book out there to as many people that would be happy to listen to.
I love that so much. And I can wait to hear your story. It sounds amazing from the little bio that you wrote me. But I also want to encourage the bitch besties listening. If you have anything to promote or if you would like to be a guest on the Judgy Bitch Pod, please just reach out to me. It can be that easy. I am so glad I have Lynn on today. Lynn, just tell the bitch besties how you and I met. Where do we know each other from?
So I was actually I saw a post on Facebook and it intrigued me. So I don't know if you remember the post or not.
I do.
It was like, I need people. They never show up or something like that. And I
Yes.
was like, I'll be there.
I was actually a little judgy bitchy because I had a couple guests that just didn't show after we made up the date for recording. They just ghosted me. And I was asking other podcasters in this group if that happens to them too, or if it's just me because I'm the judgy bitch. And yeah, some people reached out to me and told me, yeah, that happens to me too. And other people reached out to me and were like, I can be a guest. I will show. And you were one of them. And I appreciate that very much.
Yep.
I'm so glad
I
to
was
hear that.
like, I want to get my name out there. I want to get my book out there because I have lots of stuff that's coming down the funnel on this book too. So
Oh, wow. Amazing. I can wait to hear about it. Let's start with the title of the book. What is it called?
it's called Porch Time with Lynnie. Lynnie
Okay.
is a nickname that I've had from little of on, and even one of my besties yet still calls me Lynnie. So I take it. It's okay.
I love it. And the book is about what you've been through with your husband, right? But take us
Yes.
back to the beginning. How did you and your husband meet?
I was married to a gentleman, had 3 children with him, and we went through a divorce. It was
Okay.
ugly. He was an alcoholic,
I'm
and
sorry.
I was out there. Who's going to want to see, meet, date, marry, be with a woman who has
Mm.
3 children? Three
Yeah.
children. It's never going to happen. Little did I know it happened. So I met this gentleman. His name is Tracy. I met him in 2000.
Oh, wow.
September 14th, 2000 is our actual first date that we met.
Okay.
And we went out for dinner, and the rest is history.
The rest is history. I love it. How old were your children at that time?
Oh gosh. My youngest was 2, or just about 2. The middle child would have been about 6 or 7,
Oh, they were little.
and they were little, and my oldest was 9, 10. So they were
Wow.
pretty little yet. Yeah.
Wow. But good for you for getting out of that relationship with such
Yes.
little children. My bitch besties know because I told my story a couple times too that I also escaped an abusive marriage. I was only married for 2 years, but that doesn't make it any less harmful. But
Right.
luckily it was just me. So absolute kudos and respect to you for getting out with 3 little ones. Wow, that's amazing.
It was scary. It was scary. We moved into a one no, I guess it was a two-bedroom apartment, and, up a flight of 15 or 20 steps with a little baby, pretty much
Yeah,
in your arms was kinda tough, but it was good. It was what was needed to happen because, I mean, physically, he never really abused me physically. It was more mental and just more emotional. It was like, I woke up one day and thought, I could live another 50 years. Do I wanna stay married? I don't believe in divorce, but it does happen,
it
and
does.
you gotta take care of yourself and your kids. I didn't want my kids to grow up and see how a man is supposed to treat I wanted them to see how a man was supposed to treat a woman, not what they were
Yeah,
seeing,
what's
you
that
know?
supposed to be? Yeah,
Right.
yeah, that makes total sense. What made you fall in love with your current husband?
Well, so there's the current husband that's in the story?
Yeah.
Okay. So what made me fall in love with him
What's his name?
was
Maybe we call him by his name.
his his name his name is Tracy.
Okay.
So Tracy and I, like I said, we met online. It was through Yahoo Personals back way back when Yahoo Personals was still a thing. I had a post out there that said, single mom of three, yada yada, looking for that romance, a walk in the park, the dancing in the rain, those kind of things. And
Uh,
about 3 or 4 days later, I got this email, and I can remember it, and it's probably in the book where this email pops up and it says that the name of the person, his name was T Dog 3068. And I'm
okay.
thinking to myself, T Dog, God, he's probably a real winner. So we just kept chatting back and forth for, probably about 2 weeks. And then I'm from the St. Louis area. I
Hmm.
actually lived in a little town called Washington, Missouri. Well, it's not so little anymore, but it was at one time. And I was working in St. Louis, not too far from where he was actually working. And he sent me a text one day and he said, "Let's go out for dinner tonight." And I'm like, one, I got to do something with my children. And two, I'm not dressed or prepared. I don't probably don't even look good. So anyway, we went out for dinner. I got my mom to watch the kids. And so we went out for dinner and it was really nice. He was very much a gentleman, opened the car door and I'm thinking, what the
Oh,
hell? This has never happened to me, you know, hold the chair, those kind of things. So it was really, really romantic and cool.
oh, I love that.
It
And
was.
how soon after the first date did you guys get married?
We got engaged. We met in September. He proposed in February, and we were going to get married the following September, like another
Hmm.
year. And we both lost our jobs. So we
Oh,
decided we're living together. Why don't we just get married? So we got married on the same day that we met 1 year later.
oh, I love that. That's amazing.
So
That's
it
kind of
was cool.
fast, 1 year, but it's not too short.
No, no. And we were living together and we had both
Yeah.
been married before. So we knew what we were getting into.
Yeah. I love that for you guys. But
Thank you.
there's also a reason why you wrote the book because something happened to him. What is it that happened to him?
So, Tracy, on our seventh wedding anniversary, we found out Tracy was in kidney failure, that
Mm.
he was going to need to be on dialysis and hopefully get a transplant. So, the day that we were supposed to be happy and celebrating our anniversary, we found out that by Christmas, our anniversary is September, by Christmas, he would have to be on dialysis. So, it was pretty much a
I'm
stab in
very,
the heart. It was
yeah,
tough.
I'm very sorry. Yeah. So, what did the dialysis look like on a day to day for you guys?
So dialysis, we had to determine whether or not we wanted to do the peritoneal dialysis, which was they would insert a tube into his abdomen and he could do his dialysis at home every night, which
Okay.
meant we got huge bags of solutions that we had to hook him up to, 3 bags a night, plus usually 1 during the middle of the day. So
Yeah.
dialysis was an all-night thing, so if we went anywhere, we had to carry it with us. And we had to be prepared. If we decided to go on a vacation, we had to determine how long we were gonna be on vacation and multiply that by 3 to 5 bags, because if any of those bags had a hole in it or there was something wrong with it,
Yeah.
it was no good. We had to throw it away.
Yeah. Yeah. That makes sense.
So we determined that we didn't want to do the blood dialysis, although he did have a fistula put in. And a fistula is a piece of material, whether it be a vein, and I think his was a vein that would kind of go, it went in this part of his arm and there was like into and return, and that's where you would stick the needle. And nope, 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 nope. I don't do needles. So I couldn't even fathom poking him every single day. So we
Yeah.
decided to go with the peritoneal so that he could do it at home at night and it would be more like his own cycle.
Yeah. And you are
So
not a nurse. You're not from the medical field. There's nothing in your past that actually would be helpful in that situation at all.
not really, not really, but you do what you got to do.
Of course you do.
So
And was he waiting for a transplant?
we actually, yes, we went up to Wisconsin to be put on a donor list, and we were on a donor list in the St. Louis area. And one of our church members that we went to church with at the time came up and offered a kidney. So we had a live
Mm.
donor who had gone through all the testing to be hopefully be accepted.
Yeah. Wow. And what happened with that donor?
He's living happy with his family in
Okay.
Washington. So yeah.
Okay. But the donation didn't work out?
No, this is in the story also, of course. We did not get the transplant. He passed away before the transplant took
I'm very
place.
sorry.
Thank you. Thank you.
How long
So
was he battling?
he was on he was on dialysis about 6, almost 7 years,
Oh,
and then he passed away at night in home with a heart attack. So,
yeah. I'm very sorry.
thank you. There is a lot more in this story though that will just make you shake your head. So, I won't give it all away.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, don't give it all away.
I
We
won't
want the
give it
best
all
besties
away.
to read the book, to buy the book.
Yes.
What would you say surprised you the most of this time period?
My mom taught me you never give up, no matter what. You never give up. So I found out that I was much stronger than I thought I ever would be. I couldn't imagine what the heck am I doing? I didn't get that fine print. I didn't see that fine print that this is what I was supposed to do. But I took my vows seriously,
Yeah.
till death do you part. And, in the good times and the bad.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And I'm sure there were lots of moments where you felt scared and overwhelmed. How did you deal with those?
Truth be told, if it wasn't for my mother in law, my love for him, my children, and probably very first in all of that, God, I wouldn't have got through it. I
Yeah.
couldn't. God and church got us through so much.
Yeah. Yeah. I believe that. What would you say was the hardest part for you during those 6, 7 years?
Watching him suffer, all
Mm.
the suffering that he did, whether it be from dialysis to everything that went on in between that's in the book,
Yeah.
that watching him suffer, that was the hardest.
Yeah, I believe so. Were there a lot of side effects on him? Was it hard for him?
There were a lot of things that took place and a lot of things that happened during that time that, he was very, very sick a few times, that he was in the hospital for months.
Yeah.
And that was the hardest, being away from his family and kids, and because he also has a son. So his son is between my middle and my youngest. So we had 4 boys that were living with us for most of the time.
Wow.
And, just being away from the kids and being away from me and,
Yeah.
not being able to work, and that was tough.
Yeah. How did the kids deal with all of this?
They grew up fast. They learned how to make lots of pizza in the toaster oven.
Yeah.
And, they learned to fend for themselves. Again, thankful that my mother-in-law was there because she would stay with Tracy at the hospital from time to time and help me
Mhm.
get that break, because I also then had a full-time job. I was a
Yeah.
virtual assistant. I was working with clients that I had hired or hired me, um, and I had to do my job. So
Mm.
I couldn't always be with him.
Yeah. Of course not. Yeah. But what a strong woman you are to go through all this and juggle with all these different, you know, life situations
It
thrown at you,
was tough.
curveballs thrown at you. Yeah,
It was tough.
I believe so. How would you say did his illness affect your guys' marriage?
Our marriage was struggling before he got sick. We were having some issues with raising my kids and his kid, and, that's tough when you're a blended
Yeah.
family. So we were tough there. The illness and I if I'm wrong, if anybody else has dealt with this, I'm wrong, I'm sorry. But, it changed a lot of things, physically, emotionally, sexually, things change. So that was the hardest part, but he was a very, very loving, very attentive, as much as he could be, husband. He,
Yeah.
even as sick as he was at times, I'd walk into the room and I've missed you. This little bit is in the book, but it just tells you how much love he had for me. Is he worked at home too, and
Yeah.
I worked in one end of the house, he worked in the other,
Yeah.
and he actually worked in our bedroom, so that way he could do his dialysis and stuff there too. But I he would call me from his office phone to our home phone, and he would say, "Can you come here?" And I'm like, "Oh, great, now what?" So I'd walk in there, and he would just be sitting there crying, and I'm like,
Oh,
"What is wrong?" And he'd say, "I just missed you, and I love you so much that my
oh,
heart is just overflowing." So he tried so hard to make sure that he let me know
yeah.
that I was special to him. So
Yeah.
it was cool.
Yeah. I'm sure he was going through all the emotions himself,
Yeah.
and then for still finding the time and the energy to show you that you're appreciated and loved. That sounds like a
Yep.
great guy.
It
Yeah.
was. He was. Yep.
Would you say it did in the end bring you closer, although there were all those new challenges?
I think it helped us get closer to God,
Yeah.
because when we first got married, we didn't go to church. Then we started dabbling in it, and we wanted to be in church a little bit more than we were. So, yes, I really think that it got us to pray together, to believe that, whatever happens is in God's hands and we can't do anything about it.
What would you say people generally misunderstand about caregiving?
That it's not that hard. Caregiving is, and I'm not saying it's thankless, but caregiving is very tough because you don't have time for yourself.
Yeah.
I had to get his friends or my kids to sit with him while I just go grocery shopping sometimes.
Yeah.
Even to go get my hair done,
Yeah.
somebody has to stay with him. Somebody has to take him to the doctor appointments. Somebody had to set up his dialysis machines, help him take a shower.
Mm.
Caregiving is not easy.
Yeah.
I applaud nurses, doctors, anybody that has to do caregiving for anyone, nursing home residents, kudos to all of them because that is a tough job.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. Were there moments where you felt you're losing yourself over caregiving?
Very much so. Very much so. It
Yeah.
wasn't until after everything was said and done, I was like, what do I do? Who the hell am I?
Yeah.
I don't know who I am anymore. I had to learn what do I like to do? I still don't know. And I still don't know what I want to be when I grow up. But when you go through that, you forget, hey, did I take a shower today? Hey, when was the last time I saw one of my friends? So yeah,
Yeah. And it sounds like you had a great support system. It takes a village, and it sounds like you had a village. What did you do to fill your own cup? How did you stay strong?
funny that you say that. One of my very best friends at the time said, Lynn, your body is, look at that puppy.
Pixie wants to say hi.
That's okay. I love babies. Like I said, we have a corgi and she's not in here right now, but
Oh,
one of my best friends said, Lynn, your body is like a well. If
yeah.
you People are dipping out of that well every single day and every day until you get that well refilled,
Yeah.
you're not going to be good to anyone. What did I do? Honestly, a lot of my self-help was the book. It wasn't a book at the time. I would sit out on my front porch and I would write. That's how
Hmm.
this all got started. I was telling his family, his friends, my family, my friends, what's going on with him, what is his health conditions, and I would write every day or every chance I got. Sometimes it was multiple times a day depending on what was going on.
Yeah.
And so that was kind of my outlet and my release. I would laugh, I would cry, I would say bad words. I would just sit out there and watch the world go by, which very therapeutic for me at that time.
Hmm.
But I never expected to write a book. This book came about after the fact.
When
Many
did you start?
years.
When did you start writing? When you was first diagnosed? Because it was 6, 7 years or somewhere in the middle of it?
It was right as soon as we found out that he was in kidney failure. I
Yeah.
started reaching out to everyone for prayers, for whatever, so that
Yeah.
we could keep him in spirit and try to get him the help that we need, whether it be, somebody getting tested to see if they would be a match for him. We did benefits to try to raise money for bills, for doctor appointments, for the work
Mhm.
that he missed, for whatever illness he had going on at that point.
Yeah. That was before GoFundMe's, right?
Um, I think the GoFundMe was there, nothing against them, but
Didn't work for you.
it didn't work for us. I think we
Yeah.
did have something going on at one point, but
Yeah.
it just wasn't for us.
Yeah. That's totally fine. How did you stem all those medical bills? They must have been through the roof.
We were very blessed. His insurance, his medical insurance through work was great. We also, if people don't know this, if you're on dialysis or you're on chemo, there are programs out there. I think we went through the Kidney Foundation and they at
Mhm.
least help pay for all of his dialysis supplies. And that was
Mm.
could have been up to $30,000 a month.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
So
crazy.
yeah. So
That's
the
insane.
benefits helped, and we did get, the church did help out a lot with food and with groceries and, fixing up the house to make things that yeah, again, it's all in the book. So, yeah, you'd
Yeah.
have to read that.
Yeah. I will. I will. Wow. That sounds amazing. And he was still working through this
Yep.
time? What
Mhm.
was his job? What was he doing?
He, worked for a company, that handled unemployment claims.
Oh, wow.
So he was an unemployment rep. So he
Yeah.
would go to like, people file for unemployment and the employer will try to deny it if there's cause, and he had to gather all the evidence and take that.
Yeah.
He was kind of like an attorney. So he really liked that.
Yeah. But he was able to work from home?
He was. They were
Yeah.
very, very good to him, very good to him.
That's amazing. How long did it take you to write the book?
Well, probably the book actually just came out last July. It's not even a year old yet. So almost 13 years.
Wow.
But but the book was mostly, quote, unquote, "written" from December or from 2007 till 2015, 16. So it sat there, and
Wow.
I didn't know what I was gonna do with it. It was on Facebook. Who needed to So I had, visited with one of my besties, and she said, "Lynn, you really need to get this book in the hands of people. This
Yeah.
book somebody needs to hear your story." And that was what I wrote, is if I help one person, then that's what I'm supposed to do. So
100%.
I, after I visited with her, I came home and I started putting everything in chronological order. So from August to It came out in July, so August until June, almost a full year, I worked religiously on this thing. I had 5 or 6 different people proofread it. I paid someone to proofread it. I paid someone to format it for me, and someone did the picture for me. So and the book does have pictures in it that we found of us going through all of this stuff. So, it was fun. It really was fun, but
Yeah.
very nerve-wracking at the same time.
Oh, I'm sure. And I'm sure you poured your heart and your soul into it.
I will tell you that one of my best friend's sisters did the editing for me, and she's like, "I'm pretty hard." And I'm like, "No, it can't be that bad. I've had 5 or 6 people look it over." I sent her the paperwork and just printed it out and sent it to her and gave it to her, and it came back and it was like a bloodbath on it. I'm like, "Peggy, what did you do to my book?"
Yeah.
But I am still to this day, I'm a dot, 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 space, space, space person. So she's like, "You gotta close all this stuff up. You can't have all that." And you don't realize how much you do that. I do that
Yeah.
even today. So
Yeah.
if she gets another book from me, God help her.
Yeah. Wow. And how did you manage to find a publisher?
Actually, I published it through Amazon, through KDP.
Oh, nice.
Everybody said that's the best way to go because I didn't know who to find for a publisher. So I
Yeah.
went through KDP and I met a lady at a vendor fair who works for the St. Louis Authors Guild. And she got me in touch with a formatting person, and he was great. He was great.
Yeah. Amazing. And is it available on Amazon too?
It is. It's on Amazon. Actually, it's on Walmart.com. And I have a website that you can get it through my website. I will then be able to sign it if you want it signed. And something fun that I didn't even tell you yet, I don't think. In March 1st, I got to #1 bestseller.
Oh, wow.
So
That's
yeah, that was
amazing.
kind of cool. It
That
was
is amazing. What is your website called?
um I actually just changed it recently. It's called porchtimecreations.com or Porch
Lovely.
Times Creations. And the reason I did that is it was under Porch Time with Lynnie, but there's a lot more coming with the Porch Time and everything. And I want to make sure that it encompasses everything and not just a book. So there's
Yeah.
a lot of different things coming up.
Wow. I love it. Amazing. So it's been out for almost a year and you're a number
Almost a
one
year.
best-selling author. I love that for
Yep.
you.
Yep.
That's
It's
incredible.
it
Which
is
besties
cool.
don't get that book? That's amazing. Let me ask you one more question on dealing with the whole illness and everything. Do you have advice for anybody who's listening out there and might be in a similar situation, taking care of somebody with a serious illness? Do you have advice for them?
Don't give up. There's always hope.
Yeah.
If you don't believe in God, you really should. You really should because it's just an amazing journey. He may not always tell you yes and may not always answer the way you want, but I know in my heart that there's a God for a couple different reasons. And again, it's in the book. I won't tell you. You'll have to find that.
Yeah.
And I am here. I have been down that ugly road with an ill spouse. I'm
Yeah.
here if anybody would want to reach out through Facebook, through my website, anything. I'm here to help as much as I can because
Oh,
I
lovely.
needed people back then and
Yeah.
I'm here.
Yeah. I love that. Which chapter would you say was the hardest for you to write?
And I don't know how I can't even talk right now. I have the chapters laid out as our love story to have and to hold in good times and in bad, in sickness and in health, until death do us part, and love after loss.
Mm.
So I think the hardest part was until death do us part.
Mm-hmm.
That was the hardest because I had to relive all of that again.
I was just going to ask that question because it took you so many years. I'm sure you were still in the grieving process. You were still going through it. Did it bring up a lot of emotions and
It did, it
memories?
did. There was a couple of spots that I choked up even going back and just reading, and I was like, "Okay, gotta walk away from this one for a while," and I
Mm.
went and put it down probably for the rest of the night. But it was just yes, there was a couple of spots that it was like, "Oh my, I forgot about that."
Yeah.
And so,
Yeah. Was there anything you learned about yourself while writing the book?
wow, I did this. I never I there's nobody in my family that's an author. Why would I be an author? Me of all people. You know, we've had my aunts are great cooks and they can do amazing crafts and my mom and dad did crafts, but to write a book, I don't think anybody in my family wrote and had published a book. I don't think so.
Yeah.
So it's kind of cool that it's somebody that I did it.
They
And to
must
hear
be
my
also
brother, yeah,
they
I
must be
was
also proud of you.
I think they are. My brother is just like over the moon. He just like, "Oh my god, this is so great. I can't believe you done this. Oh my god." So it's very much it's interesting to hear other people's side of it. And that's something that, I didn't think it was good enough. I have what they call imposter syndrome. It's
Oh,
you
we
don't
all.
think it's good enough. And I still even to this day, is it good enough? I want to hear what people think. I have 25 or 30 reviews on Amazon and they're all great. They're great
Oh,
reviews.
good for
But
you.
a lot of them are people that I've met through the journey or through my life. I
Yeah.
wanna hear from people like you who really don't know me, people who just hear this podcast. Again, in my book, I have my email address. You can
Yeah.
go and you can do the Google review. I just want to hear from somebody I really don't know. And truth be told, there are a couple reviews on on Amazon of people I'm like, who is that? So they left a very good review. So thank you from the
Amazing.
bottom of my heart.
Oh, amazing. I love that for you. So, did your village, as I called them earlier, did they read the final product too? I know you gave them like the test copy to read. Did they also read a final copy?
Most of the people that I'm aware of, I honestly I don't know how many people I have sold probably 150 or 200 copies. And then
Mhm.
I also gave away a bunch of copies through the ebook.
Yeah,
The
nice.
people in the stories, I think some of them have read it. I do know one lady who went to church with us for sure read it. She left a review. So yes, I think that several people have, but they didn't tell me, if they've got it. Every once in a while, if I see them, it comes up. Well, I have that book. That's a good book. Yeah. So
Oh,
I do believe, and I have given it away to. I don't think I've gotten it to our church yet. I need to do that yet. But
uh
so I'm putting it in the little libraries. I don't know if you guys have those. They're the little libraries on the corner
yeah,
streets. So I
yeah,
stuck one in a couple of different boxes, and I went back a couple weeks later, and it was gone. So hopefully somebody's enjoying it.
yeah. And maybe you could also reach out to hospitals or so. I don't know. That would be helpful to people actually going through it.
And that is something, yes, the book is something that, yes, I have thought about. The
Nice.
other things that are kinda going on behind the scenes, I've got some new
Yeah.
things coming out. That's why I changed it to the Porch Time Creations. I'm
Yeah.
working on an adult coloring book that I'm hoping to get out to the dialysis centers, to the cancer centers, to
Yeah.
hospitals, for people who are stuck there for hours and need something to do.
Yeah. I love that.
So,
Is there anything that you hope readers take away from reading your book?
we kinda touched on this, I thought, or maybe I said it earlier again, is God. Don't if you don't believe in God, trust me, he's there. If you do believe in God, you have the right to be angry with him sometimes. I was. There were many times I sat on my front porch and yelled at God, and said how mad I was and angry I was with him. But I know that he never left me.
Yeah.
If you're a caregiver, don't give up. Make sure that you get out. Have someone come and sit with that person, whether it be a sick child, God forbid, a sister, a brother, a mom or dad, a husband, a wife. You
Yeah.
need to get out and be you for even if it's an hour, even if it's just to go sit at the end of your driveway
Yeah.
and just sing a song, turn the radio up as loud as you can and scream, whatever. But you
Mhm.
need that to keep you sane and healthy.
Yeah.
Because if you're down and you're not taking care of you, which I didn't take care of me the way I should,
Yeah.
you can't take care of them properly.
Yeah. 100%. I agree. What do you think Tracy would say if he was able to read the book?
Now you're gonna get me. Now you got me. I think I would say what other people would have said. That's my wife, and she did a damn good job. So
Oh,
I think he'd be very proud.
he sounds like an amazing guy.
He was. He was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, I love it.
Now you got me crying.
It's okay. It's okay. I love it. I love the raw emotions, you know. You mentioned there's a chapter called Love After Love.
Yep.
Let's talk about that a little bit.
A little bit. Okay. Well, shortly after when Tracy was ill, bear with me, sorry. He was adamant, and I'm going to say what he was adamant about, and I will finish up with my side of it. He was he told some of his best buddies, I would not blame her if she would go out and find somebody else.
Mm,
There's no way in God's green earth that I would have done that. Trust me,
Right.
again, I didn't see that fine print that I was supposed to be doing all this stuff.
Right.
But so after he passed away, it was a kind of almost a relief. It was like, I don't what am I supposed to do with myself? What am I
Mhm.
supposed to do now?
Yeah.
So I started I just started being me again. I mean, I still
Yeah.
sat on the porch. I sat on the porch for 3 months after he passed away and then some, and
Yeah.
cried my eyes out and remembered the good things and the bad things and what I needed to do and who am I and
Sure.
what's going on in my life. And I tried to give helpful hints to people during that raw time of
Right.
mourning and healing. I wanted them to see who he really was. So that's what I wrote about. Shortly after Tracy passed away, I did meet someone. And at the time, I was like, oh, this isn't right. This isn't right. But I mourned Tracy for 7, almost 8 years while he
Mm.
was going through all of that. So I had gone through most of my mourning, most of it. And I still, you saw it just 2 seconds ago. I still have
Yeah.
times that it still.
Yeah.
So I did. I met someone, we dated 3 years. So it's not like I rushed into anything. And then we got married in 2016. So
Mm.
here I am, married again.
Yeah. Oh, I'm so sorry you had to go through all this and losing a husband. That must have been tough. But I'm glad that writing for you helped you somewhat. And I also believe that the mourning process will always stick with you. I don't think you ever get to the end of it. It might change what it looks like, but I don't think we'll ever stop grieving our loved ones.
No, I don't think you do either. I think that, there's a saying that, people come into your life for a reason and a season.
Yeah, absolutely.
And my season was to help this man live an extra 7 or 8 years,
Yeah.
and know that he was loved. Because when I first met him, he was tough on himself. He
Mhm.
had been married before and it didn't end well either. And,
Yeah.
he was very, very gun shy per se, I guess, and afraid that he wasn't good enough. So I'm really glad that I could help him with that.
Yeah. What happened to his son after he passed?
Well, his son now is how old? Kevin is 32, so Bobby would be 3 years younger, so late
Mhm.
20s. I don't get to keep in contact with him as much as I should or could or would, but the last I knew he was married, living in another little town somewhere, and he was getting ready to go back to school, I think, for computers or something like that. So,
Oh,
but
amazing.
grown up to be a good boy, he looks just like his daddy. Gosh.
Lynn, I told you before we started the recording that my podcast is called the Judgy Bitch Pod, but I'm actually not really judgy bitchy. But guess what? I have some judgy bitchy questions for you where we can
Okay.
actually be a little judgy bitchy as much as you want
Okay.
or as little as you want.
All
Okay?
right, now you're throwing me a curveball here. I'm trying to be angelic. Don't you see my little halo?
Right.
It's okay. I'm ready. Go ahead.
It's not really judgy bitchy, but it gives you a chance to say what everybody thinks and nobody really says out loud. The first question I have for you is, what's one thing people said during the time that was meant to be helpful but absolutely wasn't?
I know. Just and I said it myself. Just trust God. Just
Mm.
trust God. God'll take you through this. I told them, and I've said it in the book. I said, if somebody tells me to let me I have to remember exactly how that went now. Something to the effect if one more person tells me that I can do this or I have this strength, I think I'll duck them because I'm not Hercules. You know,
Yeah.
I'm not Hercules, but
Yeah.
I had to be. I had to be.
Right. What would you say is the most ridiculous piece of advice you received?
Wow. hindsight's 2020. The one thing, and it was only to try to make things better, was to go to a different state to get on a transplant list,
Yeah.
because that's where it seemed like all hell broke loose after that, because they had stipulations. He needed this done, he needed that done, he needed this done. And once we started jumping in and doing those things, then it caused another reaction.
Yeah. Yeah. That actually works perfectly for a segue into my last question in this judgy bitch segment. And that is, what's something about kidney disease or organ transplants you wish everyone knew?
Well, first of all, organ transplant, if everybody doesn't know it, they should. You can be a donor.
Yeah.
Sign that license, the back of your license, to become a registered donor. I mean, you don't need those parts anymore. And you don't
Yeah.
know how many lives you could save. By one person could save 7, 8 people from something that they're dealing with. You have 2 kidneys, you have 2 lungs. That's 4 people right there. They
Yeah.
can take your eyes, they can take skin tissue, burn victims. If you don't know that there is a donor registry, get online and check with your local DMV, because you can do that. It's not
100%.
saying that they're gonna, but that is your choice as a human being to do that. Don't leave that decision up to your parents or your wife or your kids. You
Yeah.
make that decision ahead of time.
100%. Was your husband an organ donor?
I think we tried. I told them at the time to become an organ donor, but because he was so sick, they said
You
probably
didn't.
couldn't.
Yeah. You were probably so full of medications too that
Right,
probably isn't good for
right,
donation either.
right.
Yeah. That makes total sense. Then I want to thank you so much for sharing your
Well,
story so
thank you.
far. I usually end my podcast episode with playing games. Would you be open to that?
Okay, we'll give it a try.
Okay. My games are created by ChatGPT. I'm using AI. I'm admitting it. ChatGPT, I named him, is called David because he's a man. You have to tell him what to do. So David created this first game for us. It's called Caregiver Confessions.
Okay,
And pretty much I give you quick this or that kind of style question and you
okay,
without thinking, just pick one. There is really no wrong answer. So
okay. All right.
okay. First one is coffee or wine,
Coffee.
cry in private or vent to a friend.
It depends. Maybe both.
Okay. Google symptoms or avoid Google.
Oh, avoid Google.
Yeah.
Avoid it.
You're better off if you do. Ask for help or do it yourself.
I'm guilty. Do it myself. I know it'll get done.
'Cause you're a strong woman. That's why. Hospital cafeteria or a vending machine.
Well, I've done both. So it depends upon what the hospital's having. And usually when you're a visitor at the hospital, their food's much better than when you're in the hospital. So
Yeah, that makes sense. Hopeful optimist or realistic planner.
I'm a planner. I like to plan things out. It doesn't always go that way, but there are times you just have to go by the seat of your pants and just do it.
Right. I agree. Last one for this game. Journal your feelings or keep them to yourself.
Lately, it's been keeping them to myself because I don't take the time to journal it. But obviously, if the book, I journaled a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. I have one more game for you if you're
Okay,
ready.
I'm
The
ready.
game is called Finish This Sentence.
Okay.
Okay. First one is love is.
What do they always say? Love is patient, love is kind.
That's a Bible verse. Yes.
Yes.
Strength is.
Never giving up. Never giving up, no matter what.
Yeah. Caregiving taught me.
I'm pretty tough bitch sometimes.
You are. Absolutely. The biggest misconception about illness is.
Sorry, believe it or not, doctors are not always on your side. We had some amazing doctors,
Yeah.
but we had a few doctors and nurses that shouldn't have been in that practice.
That's a hot take.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wish people knew.
Wow, that's a tough one. I wish people knew
So many things, right?
so many things, knew the real me, knew that marriage can be wonderful if you guys just work on it together.
Yeah. I love that. The moment I'll never forget is.
This is in the book, but one thing, and it goes back to my religion, and I'm sorry if I'm offending anyone, but when we were at his funeral, we were playing the song, and I'm getting old, so I don't remember things as well anymore.
That's
We
all
were
right.
playing a song, and I closed my eyes, and it was very dark here, but off to this side, there was a bright light, and there was a man kneeling in front of this bright light.
Wow.
And I knew it was him. I just knew it was him at the gates of heaven. And so
Oh,
that will always stick with me.
oh, that touched my heart. I love that.
It is just, yeah.
Oh, I love that. Do you think that he's with you and protecting you and looking down on you? Do you see
Yeah.
signs sometimes?
Yes. I do get signs. Not that I see this anymore, but this was one of the signs that we had. It's called a schmiley. You
Yeah,
have to read the book. I can't tell you what it means. You have to
that's
read the
fine.
book. But I
Oh,
find dimes in weird
okay.
places sometimes. And every time I find them, like right now, I have about 4 of them on my desk. I found one in my car seat the other day. And again, I think it fell out of somebody's pocket. But when I opened up my car door and I saw it, I was like, oh my goodness.
I love
And
that.
the song I was trying to think of that was playing at his funeral is the song I Can Only Imagine.
Oh, yeah, that brings me
Yep.
to tears when I
Yep.
just think about it.
Yep.
No wonder. Okay. Second to last question for this game is writing this book helped me.
It helped me go back again and just see how strong I became through all of this. What
Yes.
I didn't think I would ever, because honestly, when we found out that he was on to go on to dialysis, I probably basically just figured he was going to die. His
Yeah.
dad also had kidney disease and he passed
Mhm.
away the year that we got married. So
Yeah.
his dad had the same thing. He was on dialysis and it didn't work for him. And he only had it for a couple of years, where Tracy lived 7, almost probably 8 years with this or longer. We didn't know.
Mhm.
He was diabetic. Had high blood pressure. When I first met him, he was diabetic, but they thought he had high blood pressure, so they were treating him for high blood pressure when they should have been treating him for both.
Ugh, I'm sorry.
So the dialysis or the diabetes caused issues with his whole body then.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I'm so sorry. Last question for this game is if I could speak to my younger self, I'd tell her,
don't do it. Don't do it. No, what do they say? This too shall pass.
yeah,
You can do this. I know you can do this. I have faith in you. I know that your mama raised a strong girl. Ask for help. Get help. Ask for help.
yeah. I love that so much. Lynn, you're such an inspiration. Thank you so
Thank
much
you.
for sharing your story with us. Please tell my bitch besties one more time. What is the book called? Where can they find it? And where can they follow you on social media?
The book is called Porch Time with Lynnie. It's a picture of a porch on there, and then I have my picture on the back with some clouds and balloons. So you'll know
Love
that it's that one. You can find it on Amazon. You can find it on Walmart.com, and you can find it on my website, porchtimecreations.com. And then if you order it through Porch Time Creations, I will sign it. I will send you a smiley and I'll send you a bookmark.
I love that. And where can they follow you on social media?
I am on Facebook. And then again through my website, it's been a while since I put it together, but there's a place that you can text me. I'm
Yeah.
got a lot going on. Like I said, I'm getting ready to maybe do the coloring book. I go in next Saturday to start my first reading. I'm getting ready to put this in audio. Pray
I love
for me.
that.
Maybe I need to set up a GoFundMe page for that so that I can afford it. And I've got, I told you we have a puppy. I am trying to write a book called Get a Puppy, They Say.
I love. If you need input,
Our
let me know.
little baby Bubbles, little corgi. So she's something else. So
I love that. Then please do me a favor. I like to keep up with my bitch besties. So whenever there is something coming out ready to release, be it the coloring book or the audio book or the new puppy book, let me know. I'd be happy to share it on my
thank you.
TikTok and my Instagram with my bitch besties, and they can keep up with you then too.
That would be great. I know I have TikTok. I know I have Instagram. I just don't know how to use Instagram. And so I need to take a course on that. But yes, maybe keep an eye out for me on that one too.
Absolutely, we will. Thank you so much for coming on. Please stay
Thank
on one
you.
more second.
Okay.
Bitch besties, thank you so much for listening. If you like this episode, please do me a favor and share it with all of your friends and family. Please also follow Lynn on Facebook and buy her book. And please also follow the Judgy Bitch Pod on TikTok and Instagram. Thank you so much. I'll see you guys next week. Bye.
Thanks, Bitch Besties, for listening. Make sure to follow us at the Judgy Bitch Pod. And hey, spread the word. Tell your friends, your ex, your dog walker. We'd love the support. Want to be part of the show? DM us your feedback, hot takes, or unapologetic opinions. We just might read them on air. And don't forget to follow, rate, and review the pod. See you next week. Cheers, bitches.